No, you're insane.
Hello and welcome to the Madhouse,
Hello.
episode 76. I'm Ultimate Spy 53, the host of this podcast, and joining me this week, I have my friends.
I'm Chakky. I'm a weeb. I do weeb things, and yeah.
I'm Steven, and I'm Steve Kovoc, and how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I just kind of exist.
Same. Jesus.
So,
same.
well, real quickly, I know we had the podcast last week that did not end up going up because the recorder I was using, it crashed, and so I got, no good audio. We apologize for that. All of us, we apologize. It's just gonna be the three of us tonight. Deal with it. We're weird. You're gonna have to, get through it. And we had a Pacific Rim podcast last time. Unfortunately, it did not record at all. So we're switching bases to a different topic this week, and I love Pokemon, and we've only had one Pokemon podcast. So I was thinking it'd be great to talk about the new games, and in particular, I'm gonna because there was a new Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon trailer that came out. It looks really cool. The one problem I have with it is they're using the same exact idea they had with Black 2 and White 2, where they have the legendary Pokemon fusing with another one of the legendary Pokemon. Because they had, in Black 2 and White 2, they had a Pokemon called Karoom, and it fused with both Zekrom and Reshiram. And they're literally doing that same thing with this new game, where they're having the two main legendaries fusing with another mystery legendary. It's like, Game Freak, you can't be any more original than that. It's like, oh, we had a cool idea in Generation 5, let's redo that in Generation 7, and it's just the same exact thing. And I hate it.
Ideas, man. Ideas for a while now.
It's like, Game Freak has no original ideas. It's like, oh yeah, let's just do this. I mean, it looks like a fun game. I'll still buy it and still play it, but I'm not happy with what the story is going with. The whole
honestly, you are the problem.
Fusing. It's like, you don't need a Pokemon to fuse with other Pokemon. Just don't do that. It upsets me because I love Pokemon. I've always loved the Pokemon games, and even the anime is good too. Of course, the new anime looks weird, but point aside, the games are always fun, and I think I've talked about this before on an episode before. But my first ever Pokemon game that I ever got was on my
DS?
I think it was 10 years ago, and it was, I don't know, actually I think it might have been, I know it was Diamond, but I got that game, and it must have been my,
on the DS.
I don't know how old I was, but it was my birthday.
2007.
Yeah, and I got Diamond, that came out in 2007. Yeah, and I got that for my first DS game. It was ever, and it was Generation 4. So I came in a little late, but I feel like it doesn't really matter which game you play in order. There's never really any particular order. It's just pick a Pokemon game up. It's like, great, play it. Although there are some games it's probably necessary to play them in order, but I don't really think it matters, honestly. But point aside,
They're all basically the same game.
well, they have different stories, but
They've always, that's the thing. They've always been the same game. That's
I mean, they're different regions, but they are the same concept
They're not
exactly.
really missing much,
Yeah,
aside from amount of characters, but
they're the same concept. And that's what's
Yeah.
crazy, but
it's the same concept,
Mhm.
the same basic story.
Yeah.
It's just they've added extra mechanics, extra
Yeah.
Pokemon. That's really the only major differences.
Yep.
So if you get one, you've seen them all. If you played one, you've seen them all. Basically.
yeah, pretty much. And like I said before, I really like when they announced Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, I'm like, Game Freak, really? Let's make a new Pokemon game. We should be Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because we can.
They've already done that stupid fucking thing with keeping the title of the last game in, 3 fucking
It's like, what the
times
fuck?
now.
And I don't hate this idea. I'm just I'm not liking it because it's like, wait, didn't we say that before? Oh yeah, when they released Black 2 and White 2, they had the same exact idea. Okay, let's have this legendary Pokemon and this legendary Pokemon, and let's fuse them together with this other one legendary Pokemon. It's like, we have one here, let's just fuse them together. One big one. It's like, why?
Oh, let's put Pokemon together, yeah!
And then it's the form stuff, and I hate it. I don't understand why they're doing it. I mean, it still looks like a really fun game. It's coming out about, I think it's 304 days after the last one, because I think it's coming out November 17th. The last one came out November 18th. It's like their 1 year thing where every year they make a game. But with this new one, it just like it's basically an alternate timeline. So like it's the same world but an alternate story. And I love the first ones from Generation 7, but it's the fact that they're doing an alternate story and they're doing a very very similar thing, not the same thing they did for Generation 5's Black 2 and White 2, which is I never really bothered to use the DNA splicers because there was a thing in Black and White 2 where they use DNA splicers. You would splice together the Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, Kyurem with the Pokemon Reshiram and Zekrom. And it's like, well, I want to do that. Like, what's the point in fusing together this Pokemon with this Pokemon? There's no point. I'd rather not. And it was like the stupidest.
But it's fun.
I know it's probably like the stupidest thing you could ever do in a Pokemon game, and that's why I'm not. I'm not really.
App. There's this app on the Android, like the Google Play
yeah?
Store, and it's like called, I forget, but it's hybrid something, and basically the whole point is to just fuse two animals together and create stupid hybrids. It's just like that.
I don't understand it. It's like, why would you do this? And I really don't like this. And the other thing I really, really cannot stand is, so they have several new trailers for this new game, and one of the things that they're bringing back again is old Pokemon from other generations. It's like, but I've already encountered that Pokemon in the previous generation. Why do I need to catch it again? It's like, why do I need to waste my time catching a Pokemon that I've already caught before in another game? It's like, come on, it's not fair because they have like the same generation Pokemon that I've like. I think I have an Ampharos in my Heart Gold game, but you can see a Marie, which is a pre-evolved form of that Pokemon, and it's not a moon. It's like, but why am I gonna catch that? No, I'm not gonna catch that because it's the same thing. That's why it's one thing about the new games that I really don't like is the fact that they are not giving us enough variety. They're giving us new Pokemon, but it's like, oh, you haven't played the other games, so you wouldn't know what these Pokemon are. Like, well, I do. I know what their Pokemon are because you're like porting the same same Pokemon we've already met into the new game. Why? I don't really understand that.
There's a Pokemon. I mean, there's Pokemon that's literally just keys. So
yeah, well, I think you're talking about the Pokemon with the keys one. Yeah, I think like the original ideas that they have. I believe we've talked about this before in the Pokemon podcast, but this is more like an actual centered on the new games. But yeah, the ideas that they have had are just ridiculous, and I really hate the idea of not having a variety because a lot of people have already played the previous games and they've encountered those Pokemon. I think like a Pidgey and a Rattata, you can encounter those in like all of the games now. It's like you don't need to play this, you don't need to encounter the same Pokemon in all of the games. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
Well, a big thing about Pokemon is collecting all of them.
That's true.
Yo, gotta catch them all. So,
I know, but like
a huge part of it is catching all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you gotta be able to catch them all in the modern games.
Yeah, I know, but
And fair enough, there's compatibility issues, and you can't transfer your Pokemon from an older game.
yeah, I mean, the really stupid thing about the new game, and although I'm very excited for it, it's the fact that it's like 400 new Pokemon. It's like, wait, those aren't new Pokemon. Those are the same Pokemon we've seen in the previous games. Why are you doing that to us? And it's like, I mean, I don't understand why they're doing it. I'm really pissed off. It's like, come on, we've already seen these before. We don't need to catch them again. It's kind of like Ash encountering the same Pokemon he'd already seen in the previous region. It's like, what's that Pokemon? I better look it up. He already knows what that Pokemon is. He doesn't have to look it up again. Apparently he does. Like, apparently he's an idiot. But, I mean, the anime and the games are very different because they follow a different timeline, a different, like, alternate universe, everything. And it's the fact that, like, not only we have that, but also, like, I feel like the new games, we have, I think, Generation 6, it had 2 Kalos region games in one story. You had X and Y, which is not a bad name for a game, honestly. I like the idea of it. But it's like the first 3D game, and they had X and Y, and they had 2 Kalos games, X and Y, of course. And then it's like one story, 2 chances to get one story out of it. And then, of course, the next thing we get is a remake of Ruby and Sapphire. But some people who have already played those, it's like, well, we're just getting a remake, and that's basically just one Kyle story in the same generation. So essentially, you're making Generation 6 just like one game. It's stupid, and that's why it was the shortest game. You know, it was the shortest generation. I mean, I really enjoyed playing that game because you got all this amazing music. You got 3D models. It was really fun.
Amazing.
It was really fun.
Customization that came in like.
Yeah, customization, that was a big thing because, like, I think in the early games of Pokemon, you can play either a boy or a girl, and you can't, like, if you're someone who happens to be African American, you can't change the skin tone. It's like, the fuck.
It's just one character. Everybody, you have to be Asian.
I mean, it was like even before that, like the first Pokemon game in the entire franchise, you'll get one pick. It's like, oh, I'm just a guy now. Okay, well, if you're a girl, too bad.
You can only be an Asian boy. You can only be a 10-year-old Asian boy. That's it.
And it's like, oh, Leaf Green and Fire Red. Here you go. Here's 2 genders you can have. And it was just like stupid, and that's why I feel like
I think the reason they put like the first ones was due to memory issues, like memory limitations of how much the cartridges could actually hold.
Definitely, and I just feel like, you know, because
Wait, they only allowed you to be an Asian boy?
No, they only allowed you to be a boy, but the default assumption is that the boy is Asian because the game is Japanese.
Yeah, that's the idea, yeah. And it's just stupid, like, because they only got, like, I think in the first generation alone, you got only one choice. You were playing as Red. That was it. You get to pick a name as it, you're Red. And then Generation 3, you get the remakes of those games, and you finally get to choose between a boy and a girl. Finally! And then you get fast forward to Generation 6, I think it was. Yeah, 6. You finally get the you know, changing your hairstyle, I think it was, or maybe it's just your skin tone. But it's like you finally get like a little bit of customization, which is great.
How about make it so that you can change out anything? Make it like a me character sort of thing.
Make it like do a full-on Sims thing.
That would be weird though. I mean, they did a little bit of that with X and Y, where you're able to change your style.
Anything I want.
And fucking like Sims, but Pokemon. That'd be amazing.
That'd be weird, but still.
Imagine your character. I have so many ideas.
You can create anybody, but like in the new games, at least you're able to actually make you change your clothes and stuff, which is really, really cool.
Zoe, I need to seize the Pokemon. I need to seize the means of Pokemon.
When he sees the means of Pokemon, apparently the motion of seizing the means of Pokemon.
And it was the whole thing with, like, ever since Generation 5 came out, you have 4 games. It's like Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, but it's like you get 4 games in Generation 5. In Generation 6 you get 4 games. And it sounds like in Generation 7 you're going to get the exact same amount of games, 4 games. Like, why? Why so short of a generation? I don't understand it. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess they might have some reason for it, because they feel like, oh, maybe just 4 games is enough for a generation, I guess. It's, I don't know, like it...
Freaking, a generation is typically like one thing, so...
And the fact that they have 4 games per generation, well, 2 stories, potentially, it's so stupid, because I miss the days when you had, like, longer generations. You get, like, Generation 4 was the longest out of all of them. You got 5 games in the entire generation, which is great. But also, it's the remakes that take up a lot of that, because, like, Generation 6 had a lot of, it had, like, remakes. I think Generation 3 had 2 of those games were taken up by remakes, and then Generation 4, 2 more of those games were taken by remakes. It's, like, nothing but remakes these days. And then it's, like, Generation 6 was only the shortest generation because of the remakes. And I get sick of remakes. It's, like, people are already talking about wanting to do a, Diamond Pearl remake, but why? I've already played that game. Why would you
That is literally old enough for a remake now.
It is, but we don't need it.
It's so fucking insane.
It is.
It doesn't need a remake. The graphics are fine.
Yeah, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake. People want it, but I'm like, no, don't give us that. I don't want it, because it doesn't need to happen. Because no one, well, people want it, but it's like, but I've already played it. Why would I play it again? It's pointless. I mean, I get it, it's 10 years old, but no, you don't need it. It's not a point. It was kind of like there wasn't a point in making a Ruby and Sapphire remake with Generation 6. which made that generation so short, and that's why I did not like that. Although X and Y was a great new generation, I really did not like the fact it was so short.
Fucking bothers me about X and Y though.
Oh yeah?
On Z, come on.
Z. Oh yeah,
man.
that's another thing I was going to talk about. So, the one thing that was really stupid about those generations was the fact that I think it was generation 5 and 6. We never got like the third one. People were remembering about like a Pokemon Gray between black and white because that's like the mid color, and then people were like, well, Zygarde's name begins with a Z. Why don't we have a Pokemon Z yet? And there was an anime called Pokemon XYZ. Why can't we have Z yet? And we never got a Z. It's like, we should have gotten that Z because we only got like one chance to be in Kalos.
Stop dropping the ball.
It's like, it would have happened, and people actually made fan art of a Pokemon Z cover art. It was like, it looks so cool, and it's like, can't we get Z already? And it never happened. And I was like, come on. I didn't like that. It's also the fact that Game Freak, they cannot be original enough. Like, the fact that they made... I mean, I get, like, through, black and white, but X and Y, that's pretty cool. I like that, but that incentive when it's like, okay, I like that too, but you still kind of like, hey, let's wait in the next Pokemon game. Oh, there's a sun. We can take the sun. Oh, it's the moon. We can just take the moon and the sun and make a Pokemon game. And...
Why not make Pokemon Earth?
That's true. I mean, there was also the idea of, like, Pokemon Stars and Eclipse for... Another ones, and also the worst names ever that I could ever think of was Minus and Plus.
What about Pokemon Brown version? That'd be a bad.
There would have been like during the colors, like they'd red and blue and green, but still, I think that the fact that Game Freak can't be original. I think the reason definitely reason why they're doing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is because the Ultra Beasts. That was a big thing in Sun and Moon. I loved it. I really loved the fact that they had Ultra Beasts, like Pokemon from another, dimension. That was the idea of it.
Oh.
And they're calling the new games Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because it's an alternate storyline of the previous games in the Generation 7, and they focus on the Ultra Beasts mainly. And that's why it's called Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But I still think that Game Freak can be more creative with their names because, seriously, why call it that? I get the idea behind it, but I still don't really understand why they're doing it.
God, I just lack of creativity.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's on Generation 7 already.
They skipped a whole generation because of Generation 6, essentially.
13. The highest generation was that. What the fuck, Nintendo?
I don't know. I mean, they're talking about doing Generation 8 on the Switch next. Like, that's next Pokemon game is after Ultra on Moon come out.
Oh
They're gonna do Generation 8 already. It's like, wait, already? But Generation 7 only came out last year. Talking about Generation 8? Come on. It's like, why going so fast, Pokemon? Why go, like, Game Freak specifically, why are you going so fast? It's just, like, it's stupid. I mean, I would have liked to have a Pokemon Z because that game would have been awesome. Oh, sorry. Pokemon. People get that mixed up all the time. Is Pokemon pronunciation because there's an accent with an E, but it's Pokemon. Although I often pronounce it Pokemon. I get the habit of that. It's just most people in the world pronounce it Pokemon. It's just the easiest thing to say. But also something that happened during Generation 7 that I did like, but it was like very original, so cool, was Z moves. Yeah, it was a very cool mechanic, but like the name of it, very original. Z moves, great. I felt like they were just like everyone wanted the Pokemon Z, and we got nothing. And it's like, oh yeah, here's Pokemon. Here's a Pokemon mechanic called Z moves. It's like these really cool moves you can use once per battle, and it's like, really. So I don't know. I didn't think that was very creative with their naming. But I still really like the idea of calling it Z-Move because that's a really cool mechanic. Because I've used a lot in Sun and Moon, and it's really cool. Because you can use your trainer to do it like a weird move, and the power goes into the Pokemon, and then they get to do this really, really crazy move. It is really cool, but the naming is the problem. It's like, coming soon, Z moves. Like, really? You couldn't be more.
That's just rubbing the whole Pokemon Z thing in the face.
Exactly. It's like everyone's a Pokemon Z. It's like, well, we can't do that. But here's Z moves. Like, come on. It's like,
yep.
They're just like, ha, we can Pokemon Z, but here's Z moves to make it all bad. It's like, come on. But still, I do.
Here's Xenu?
Z moves. But still, I did like the mechanic
Can you
itself.
imagine Xenu in Pokemon?
A Pokemon name called Xenu. That'd be cool.
Xenu is the fucking deity of Scientology.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my fuck.
But also, a big problem with the new generation, this current generation, is the fact that the Pokemon models from Generation 7, I'm sorry, I can't mix them up. The Pokemon models from Generation 6 were literally just ported over to Generation 7. Literally the same models. It's like, really? I'm not kidding. Like you transfer your Pokemon over to the next generation. It's like literally the same models that you're using for Generation 6. It's like, what? And I just felt that was lame. It's like they didn't even try to like improve
It's a
them.
stylistic choice.
I guess so,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I really did not like it. I didn't think it was a new generation. It didn't feel like a new generation. I mean, at least they upgraded the player models, but the Pokemon the Pokemon models themselves were not improved. They were literally just like they used the same exact models as the previous generation, which is like they're not even trying at that point. They're not like it's supposed to be all new and everything, but it's not. It's very much not a new concept. I mean, I do like the 3D models, but it's the fact that they're not even trying to like make them better, and that's what kind of stupid about it. But I guess that's what they don't want to do. I guess they just the way they thought, oh well, we don't want to take the time to make a new model, so let's just take other models from this game and pour over here. It's like,
Well, again, it's probably a stylistic choice.
I suppose so. I mean, I guess it's just the fact that they were like, I guess, man, they're lazy or something. It's like, yeah, a little too lazy. They'll just pour over the other ones. But still, it's stupid, and I really not to kind of like really because I was watching a podcast about that. And it's like they literally just poured over the previous models. Like, well, that's not very cool. That's just boring. Although I do like the models they use, it's still kind of like you can tell the gameplay is. I feel like the gameplay engine they're using is like breaking because the models are so intensified. They're just like so 3D model and everything. It's like, yeah, we can't make any new models because the game's gonna break if you make them better in high quality. It's like, yeah, it's already too much with the game itself.
Maybe update your fucking engine.
Yeah, and
spend some time on that.
although it was still, I still like the engine they're using. It's kind of pointless with the models. And also, something that happened in Sun and Moon that I really liked was the fact that they introduced ride Pokemon. So basically, in previous generations, you'd have to have, if you come to an area like a boulder, or you have to get to a Pokemon Center, you have to like have a Pokemon in your party that happen to learn that move, like the HM move, like Strength or Fly or Rock Climb or Surf, any of those. And
Yeah.
what's really cool is the Pokemon Sun and Moon, they introduced the concept of ride Pokemon, which basically, it's making it so that you don't have to have a Pokemon that knows an HM move, essentially, to do a certain thing in that area that you can't get to, essentially. Which I found really cool, because it's like...
Wait, how...
So,
basically,
it's called ride Pokemon, and you could have, you could like summon a Pokemon that knows how to do that move. Like a Machamp, you can have a Machamp that like knows how to bulldoze, or you can have I think it's a Stoutland, which is a Pokemon.
has to be your own...
Yeah, you don't have to even have a Pokemon in your party to learn that move. You can just summon a Pokemon to do it for you. Like you can summon Charizard Glide. You can summon I think a Pokemon.
Is it like a Pokemon?
Yeah, a Lapras Ride.
Or...
And also you can have a new concept they unveiled in the new trailer for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was
that's awesome.
riding on a Mantine, like
Holy.
surfing on a Mantine, which is really cool. If you've ever played, you haven't done surfing before Pokemon, which is never done before, but you can surf on a Mantine in the new game, which is really cool, because it also makes it possible to not have to use surf all the time, because in the previous games you'd have to have a Pokemon in your party learning surf. It's like, well, I don't want to take this weak Pokemon in my party just to use Flash in this cave. Oh, now you can use a Pokemon. I don't even think Flash is a thing anymore, but like, oh, I have to have a Pokemon that knows surf. I don't have one. I don't want to teach the Pokemon surf because that's a waste of time. And you know what? and everything. It's like, I don't want to delete this cool move because I have to make room for Surf. It's like, ugh. But now you have to do that. You can actually
You just
summon.
feature it.
It's like, okay, Lapras, come out or whatever. I don't know what the Pokemon is, but some Pokemon come out and help me, and you can ride on it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And you don't even have to have it in your party. That is fucking awesome.
I know. It was a
Way to
really
go, Nintendo. I commend you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really cool
Very
idea
cool.
because it's supposed to be a new generation, and it's like, well, what's so new about it? Oh, we ride Pokemon now. Well, that's cool.
We what?
we ride Pokemon now. You don't have to use your HMs anymore. You don't have a Pokemon with an HM slave. It's like, that's cool. At least they're doing something to make it better. That's why I liked about it a lot. Yeah, because I really like the fact that you don't, because literally you'd be like, oh crap, I can't get up this mountain. Oh, I have to have Surf. Oh, I'm about to go check my Pokemon Surf. Oh, now you don't have to do that. You can just summon one.
You just go and summon one. Where is that in the menu?
I think I think you press Y. Yeah, you press Y on the game. It's like basically the same thing for riding a bicycle. Like, so you ride it, you press Y, and you can get any Pokemon. You can, I think, a Statland for riding through terrain. I think a Rhyhorn. I think in Generation 6 you get a Rhyhorn for just. I think it was introduced in Generation 6, but it was expanded upon in Generation 7 for Sun and Moon, which are really cool because in those games and other games you couldn't even do that, which was kind of stupid, but I like that part about it. And also, one thing I will say, because it says Pokemon related, and it's in the same series, is the fact that in Black and White, when you enter a building, it would go like it would zoom in on it would like zoom in.
Oh, that.
You get you get sick from that. It's like
That's
you literally
really jarring.
It's like you literally it's like playing the game. Oh, you get sick from that. It's like you have that motion sickness of the camera zooming into the building. It's like, why?
Hated that.
I hated it. I mean,
just, oh god.
And also one thing I did not like about Generation 5 Black and White was a Pokemon evolving. It's like, oh, Pokemon's evolving. Let's spice them up. It's just like, it's like, really? You can see their tests and everything. It's like, it's so gross. I hated that. I did not appreciate that we had to do that. And also, it got worse in Generation 6 with when a Pokemon evolved. You couldn't even see what was going on. It's like, it's evolving. Okay, what's happening? Is it growing a limb? Is it growing bigger? What's going on? It just you couldn't see it because there was a bright light. It's like, what the fuck is going on now? And
it's like merging with its evolved form to create.
That was what I liked about the old games, because in like Generation 3 they had that thing where the Pokemon would merge, or in the previous generations they had a Pokemon where we literally merged with the other Pokemon into the next generation. But it's just the fact that like Generation 5 and on
was perfectly fine.
Yeah, in Generation 5 and on it just was ruined, because you get to Generation 7, it's like, oh, maybe the evolution would be improved by now. But no, the Pokemon now is evolved, and it just literally becomes a ball and then it goes. It's like, come on. I just feel like they ruined that opportunity. So Steven, you know what I'm talking about the whole evolution thing, like the fact that they're ruining it, right?
Yes, I do actually.
Because because I know you're playing Diamond right now, and with Diamond and Pearl, I actually like that one because it was the last Pokemon game, Pokemon generation where they had that concept before they moved it on and they just ruined evolution animation. Like, animation for evolution just looked terrible, and I hated it. And Generation 4 was the last one they had with it, and it actually was like like that. It was just that sound effect. It was like it was really cool, and I love that. I found it really cool. And with the new games that they're doing is, although it's a different storyline, it's still a really cool game. It looks really cool because you get these Ultra Beasts. You get I think you get, it's a different story altogether, but it's the same universe, and they kind of doing a thing with Doctor Who, where the first thing you see in the game is going through this ultimate wormhole.
Ever seen the Boot Diamond?
The bootleg Diamond?
What? Bootleg Diamond and Pearl.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Is it? Well, I've watched I watched a thing of bootleg Emerald, which is very, very similar, I'd imagine, where it's like the text is all crappy, and like you have mom balls. That was
it's not a game.
Because I was watching a YouTuber play bootleg Emerald, and it's like It's a Mon Ball, and you have, instead of pound, it's the Pokemon Bump Me. And it was hilarious.
No. Like, those ones are really funny too. They call it Vietnamese crystal, and it's a poorly translated. Eggy bag fuck. But like fuck diamond versions of Diamond and Pearl, which are called Diamond and Jade. See, they're not games. They're poorly translated Pokemon-esque games.
Oh god.
Sort of. But they were Japanese games.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Absolutely nothing.
Oh my
to do with
god.
Pokemon.
I remember because one of the episodes of Bootleg Emerald I was watching, they have things like when you get XP, it's instead of XP it's value, and instead of leveling up, it's like grade 8, or you go up a grade. It's like, instead of leveling up, you go up a grade. It's like they call leveling up grading.
It's like you're going from first grade to second grade.
And then like grade 100. like so and so group to grade 100, and the Pokemon that they used, the Pokemon names were just ridiculous. They didn't even make sense. And you have the youngster Joey, like something a parent's child. It's like, what the fuck? It was hilarious, and it didn't make any sense. And you have things like
it's like what those are usually the literal translations of the Chinese names for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because most of the bootlegs come from China.
But you have just crazy things. Like the Pokemon are just like, what the fuck? And you have Pound, like I said before, Pound is bumping you apparently. And Water Gun is gun. It's like, what the hell?
Gun! Oh, okay.
I use gun on you. It's super effective.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you shot a Pokemon, it would die pretty quickly.
Well, that was a part of a banned episode of the anime, was where a sheriff actually pulled a gun on Ash. It was banned.
Wait, oh, I remember that, yeah.
I mean, this is Pokemon, so it kind of has to do with the anime, but it happened in an anime, but, like, because the anime is so vastly different from the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every time a new game comes out, Ash just, like, every time a Pokemon game is announced, at least, the current season of Pokemon is just about to wrap up, and it's like, it just happens to be wrapping up, and a new game just happens to be announced. Kind of like with X and Y, where this game happened to be announced. I think they were like, I don't know, halfway down with Black and White at that time of the anime series. It was like good timing right there. And like I said before, like, you know, there are a lot of things that can happen in the bootleg games. Like I think you can in one of the Generation 3 bootlegs, you can encounter a Generation 4 legendary in that, like Dialga. It's like, what? Apparently you can do that. I mean, I really did enjoy playing Diamond and Pearl. Those were my favorite games. I remember.
I never gotten a chance to play them.
Well, see, I was able to I'm able to sell Steve Kovoc here the copy of Diamond that I had when I originally got it, and it's a fairly fun game. And I remember having so much fun because with Action Replay, you can do so much with the games. Like you can
the cheat codes.
You can like cheat in every Pokemon you want. And so I mean, obviously you can't really transport them, but it's so fun to just encounter anything you want.
The further back in generations you go, the more fun it is to mess with cheat codes because there are more glitches.
Like walking through walls.
Like one time when I was like 12 or 13, I was playing Pokemon Crystal, and I had a whole bunch of cheat codes on.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a walk through walls cheat on. I had like a bike anywhere cheat on. I had a bunch of other cheats on that had nothing to do with actual like Pokemon themselves. They didn't change any Pokemon. And I swear to fucking God, I kid you not, I walk into the grass, get into a random encounter. It's level fucking 1. Shiny Charizard.
What?
What?
Yeah. No cheat.
Oh my God.
In to make anything like that happen, and it just did.
Oh my God. I remember using the walk through walls cheat, and I think it was the point where I hadn't gotten to Darkrai yet, and I think it was in Platinum or something. I don't remember which one it was, but I think it might have been Platinum, where I used the walk through walls cheat, and I literally walked in the water, didn't get any Pokemon to spawn me because it was like the out of the thing. I was able to run all the way to New Moon Island and even Full Moon Island to get both Cresselia and Darkrai. and it was obviously not legit. It was like, dude, I don't know how to use the event. I can just run over there. It's like, hey Draco, what's up? Let's battle. And it was so fun because like I remember doing that. Of course, now, I mean, I don't think I've actually talked about this on Madhouse before, about the fact that there was a point in my life when I because there's a thing where I want to get like all three starter Pokemon, and I had literally gone to the exact same place where I got my Turtwig at the very start of the game, and I had Action Replay with me. It's like, I wonder if I do this. So I cheated to make it so that I could encounter a Chimchar and a Piplup in the exact same level and exact same place that I caught my Turtwig. And it's like, all Pokemon back, they don't allow, Pokemon that have been cheated. Well, here's the weird part. I transferred them to the next game, and they got to Pokemon Bank. I put them in my Pokemon game, and nothing bad happened. It's like, yep, go ahead. It's like, but I cheated for those, and it still let me in. And it was so weird. It's like, but wait, I cheated.
That was probably mainly a rumor, in all honesty.
I mean, I feel like the reason why it worked was because the game detected that I had caught the Pokemon, that I had attained the Pokemon the exact same way I attained a Turtwig, which was I started with them. It's like I'm basically tricking the game into thinking that I already started with them in the beginning of the game, which is not true at all. But it was still a really cool idea, and I feel like with the new games, although one thing I really did not like about X and Y was the fact that I think at one point in X and Y you get the original starters. It was Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Except they're level 10 this time. So you only get 6 levels to train with them before they evolve. I hated that, because I wanted to be able to make them sure... Because I liked it when they were level 5, because you get like 11 levels to train them, and then you can finally evolve them. But it's the fact that when you get them...
Starters?
Yeah, when you get the starters for Kanto starters, you only get 6 levels to train them, and it's like, oh, they're already evolved. It's like, I hated it. And it's stupid. But I do like the fact that with the new games, they're making a new story. Kind of like I feel like the new Pokemon games, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they're kind of taking inspiration from the Distortion World part of Generation 4 with Sinnoh, where they had, where you go into the Distortion World and you encounter Giratina. I love that part. And they're doing not exactly the same thing, but doing I feel like they're inspiring from it, because those games went to a different dimension. And in these games, you also go into a different dimension, but you encounter these special kinds of Pokemon called Ultra Beasts, which are really cool.
Called what now?
Called Ultra Beasts. They're a special kind of Pokemon. I think they're very mysterious. Really cool, yeah, and they're actually shortened to be called UB. And they're like these mysterious, creatures, and they look really cool. They are essentially Pokemon, but they're like more mysterious types of Pokemon, and they were actually first introduced in Generation 7 back last year. And they have new ones, of course, but they also have new types of things. Like, of course, I really hate the fact that they're doing the whole fuse thing, because I don't like that. Like, what is the point in doing the fuse thing? I have talked about it earlier in this episode, but I still can't get over it. Why? What is the point?
Because it's pointless. They were out of ideas, and it's kind of fun.
I mean, the really interesting part about the fusing thing, but also having because in the new game Sun and Moon last year, the first games, you have the idea of the legendary Pokemon is also always the main center of the games, but instead you get your legendary Pokemon via evolving, because like the Pokemon I think it's Nebby or the Pokemon that you initially get in the game is actually owned by the girl that you are friends with in the game, and it evolves with basically the first legendary Pokemon to ever evolve in a game, which is really strange.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's the first concept.
Legendary Pokemon don't fucking evolve.
I know, but in this particular game, the way they told the story was that Nebby, the nickname for the Pokemon that was in Lily's purse, which is one of the characters that you encounter in the game, Lily, and the fact that they have the final concept of the game, it actually evolves into the legendary Pokemon of the game, which is really cool. And I really like the. I'm not a big fan of it, but I still like the idea that they've done that exact thing. And also a really cool thing that they changed for the new games for Sun and Moon was there are no gyms anymore. Basically, the gyms are replaced by island trials, and I think I talked about that when we actually had the Sun and Moon podcast episode of the Madhouse, and it was about the whole the island trial things. So basically, gyms aren't a thing in Alola. They are replaced by the things called island trials. They're essentially the same thing as gyms, except you face a totem Pokemon and you get to battle them. And you get you get to pass the island trail, and then essentially you get to build a Elite Four.
Well, if it's supposed to mimic like a rite of passage thing.
Yeah.
You're like born on the island and you're like becoming or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess that does make more sense than Gem.
Yeah. Hey, Steven, what do you think of having the island trials? Because it's coming back in the next games.
Well,
yeah, because basically, for Generation 7, they invented a new concept called island trials. Instead of gym leaders, they have island trials. And basically, the idea is you complete the island trials, and then you eventually build your own Elite Four, build your own little Pokemon League, which is really cool. And you can actually become the Pokemon champion. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, and you can face these old Pokemon totems, and you fight them. And they have little. What's really interesting thing is because in Pokemon Sun and Moon you can have. I'm saying that I'm pronouncing it weirdly because I can't help it. But basically, you encounter a Pokemon, and they get to have the power to actually call upon a friend, like another Pokemon. So you basically, the chances are that a Pokemon you're fighting will be able to call upon a partner, like a friend, to help them out in the battle, which is stupid because that way you have to like fight two of them. But still,
there's already kind of a thing with like battle thing.
Yeah, it does cause a problem with that. Of course, I think it only is a thing in wild Pokemon battles, but still, it also that thing that I really having a hard time liking is there's a Pokemon in Sun and Moon, and also the new games Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon called Lycanroc. It is the evolved form of a Pokemon called Rockruff, and they're adding a third form to this Pokemon. There were two forms originally, Dawn form and Dusk form. I want to say that, and they're adding a new form. Actually, I can't remember exactly which. I think it's Midnight form and Midday form, and then they're adding one called Dusk form. I want to say it's called. I think it's Dusk form.
Jerry.
I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's stupid. One thing I really hate about Pokemon is forms. We don't need forms. Like, we already have enough forms as it is. I mean, it's stupid. Point is that the new Pokemon games are looking really cool. I do feel like they're borrowing a little bit from Generation 4 with the Distortion World. They're adding that idea of going into a different dimension, which is really cool. But also, I feel like it's a new chapter in the Pokemon universe because it's an alternate story, but it's in the same universe, obviously. And one thing I would like to say about the Pokemon Generation 7 is Lily. She was my favorite character in that game because I don't know why, but I felt like she actually had a thing for the player. It was weird, but like she had a thing for the player. She actually, you could tell that she liked the player, like the player you're playing as. I don't even think it mattered what gender you're playing as, but she liked the player. Like she was always like,
yay!
I don't know why, but it felt like that she was actually had a thing for you.
Lesbians are being free with each other.
I feel like the players you've been playing as, they are honestly really cool. Because I like the fact that with Sun and Moon, they had the idea of making it more Hawaiian based because that's very, very different. And that's what I liked about it. I like the fact that they had the Hawaiian based stuff because you have a place called Alola, which is very Hawaiian, and you get different islands, which is very different from any Pokemon you would able to play. But still, I like the fact that they had that in there. Do you guys have any idea what that is about? Like, do you know what I'm talking about with the whole Hawaiian?
I do.
Steven?
I know what Alola is.
Yeah, I think I do.
Do you have any comments about that? You haven't really. Chakky here has been talking more than you have, obviously. What are your thoughts about? What are your thoughts about the new game?
They seem really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Have you seen the trailer yet?
I don't know if I have. That sounds really weird. I need to. Oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's
happening.
a new game in the series. They're doing a whole game a year thing, which is a lot of what all games are doing right now. I think they
What
skipped
is that called?
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It's basically
What is that called?
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It's basically an alternate story. I think it's this new, well, looks like an evil team, because every Pokemon game has an evil team, and you have this new idea where it's, I think it's these Ultra, crap, let me look it up. Ultra Recon Squad. Sorry, wrong one. All right, yeah. So
Oh my god.
they're really weird. I know Game Freak can't be any more creative with their name, but it's called the Ultra Recon Squad, and it's basically, it looks like they could be the evil team of the new games, in the Ultra World, because it's really cool what they've done with the story. They've taken it and they basically made it kind of Doctor Who style, where it's like a portal, like basically a big portal where they're going through it, and you're getting into, Ultra Worm, Ultra Space, and you could, actually get to see the Ultra Beasts in actual real time. Like, they're part of the story now, because in the previous games they were just part of like the post game, which kind of sucked. But in the new games, you get to not only face off against these what looks like they could be the evil team. They have these weird little suits, kind of described as like the Team Galactic of the Alola games, but also it's the fact that they could be the evil team, because every Pokemon game has had the evil team. Heck, even Team Rocket has had the most games they have the most appearances. They were in the first two generations, or the first two regions. They were in Kanto Johto, and then you had Team Magma and Team Aqua in Generation 3 with Hoenn, and then Sinnoh was Galactic. I think it was Unova was
Three was Aqua and Magma.
Yeah, and you get to fight two of them here if you chose Emerald, and then Team Plasma, which was a very creative name, which was they had like two versions of Plasma in Black and White 2, or Black and Black and White 2. They had like two versions of Plasma. One that had like these like, I don't know, like these medieval costumes, and then the sequels had like these costumes that where you had like this thing over your mouth, and of course you get to Team Flare, which is the weird thing. I can't really describe it. It was like this weird thing little, like they had this little hand motion that they did. It was really weird. And then and then of course you have Team Skull, which are such weird characters, because they're like these punk rock people, like that. They just weird. And what's really cool about Guzma, which was the leader of Team Skull, which was the fact that his goggles resembled a moon and a sun, which was really cool, actually. Yeah.
Haha, see what you did there, Nintendo.
And the past games they've had, you have Team Rocket, of course, they had they're chasing Ash all over the regions, of course. Rocket. And then you have, of course, Team Magma and Team Aqua, which I feel like Magma is basically the fire team is basically a redo in Generation 6. You have Team Magma and you have Team Flare, which is essentially the same idea, which I kind of felt like was stupid, because you have all these different things, and then you have Galactic, which was I kind of did like Galactic a little bit. But then you get to Generation 6 and 7 with like Team Flare with their little dance. Like the little Team Flare thing, I don't know what it was called. It was just like this weird thing. But I feel like the names they came up with the team members they have to fight. I feel like the evil team is very essential to the Pokemon games, because I feel like without evil teams you don't have a plot. I mean, basically, I feel like with the evil team you have plot, and that's what makes Pokemon so that's what makes Pokemon have good plot, is if you have an evil team. Wouldn't you agree on that?
If you don't have a bad parts of like if you don't have a bad guy, you don't really have a story.
Yeah, Steven, what do you think about the evil team? Do you think they're necessary, or do you think they? Steven, what do you think about the evil teams in the Pokemon games?
Oh right.
Yeah, and I feel like
I know what you're
without evil teams, there really is no plot to Pokemon. Because all Pokemon is you're on a journey, you're catching Pokemon, you win battles. That's kind of the same thing every generation. But with the addition of evil teams, not only are you able to train your Pokemon faster, but also they make the Pokemon games what they are. I feel like, without the evil,
main villain wearing?
Yeah, without the evil villain thing, you're able to have an actual plot.
Isn't it?
That's a good point. You brought up in the chat you have Team Rocket and Giovanni, and I felt like that was a weird part about the anime where Jesse and James of Team Rocket, they switched their uniforms to black, and then they switched back to white. I actually like that part of the anime.
It doesn't look as good as the white one.
It doesn't, but I still like the fact that they were more serious, able to like not get blasted off again, and they were able to actually use jetpacks and stuff. But I still feel like without an evil team, like a Pokemon team that is after something to make your game harder, I feel like without that, Pokemon, it just isn't fun. I mean, it has some fun aspects, but I feel like with an evil team...
Did you know
Yeah.
that canon, at least in the manga,
Yeah?
your rival from Silver, Gold, and Crystal is actually Giovanni's kid.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember that. That was a really weird part about the games, was finding out that your rival is actually the son of Giovanni. That was weird.
But I don't think Giovanni gave a shit about the kid.
Yeah.
Was the thing.
Although one thing I will say about characters, and this is about the game and the video game influenced anime called Origins, was when I watched it, I was so uncomfortable watching it just because of the voice acting. Because I was always watching the anime and I was always recognizing the voices of Professor Oak and Giovanni and Brock and all these characters. But the fact that they did not have the same voice actor in this original anime, not the anime itself, but like a game.
OVA?
Yeah, it was called Pokemon Origins, and it was it was a anime based off the games. And it was vastly different from the actual anime. And I liked it, but there were some aspects of it, especially the voice acting, that I did not like, because I watched the anime and it's like, oh, these characters, and then you watch this version of the anime, it's like...
they couldn't get the actual voice actors.
Yeah, because I feel like why they did that was because they wanted to make this particular anime vastly different. Like make it have its own universe. Like have this version of the kid, because the games and the anime are in completely different universes. Although they're in the same world, they're in different universes. And
no, they probably just couldn't afford to get the actual
voice actors. And that's what made me really kind of like feel like, what is this? I mean, this isn't training, but like, why did you decide to make this the way it is without the original voice actor? Because it just sounds wrong. Like, Brock isn't voiced by Eric Stewart, and it just sounds weird. It's like, that's Brock. That's the guy without that's the guy without the eyes. Like, what the hell happened to him? Eyes did something different, and it's like voice acting. I just didn't really like that, and that's what was a big problem about it, was that fact. And also a big part of the anime. I know this is going to the anime a little bit. I want kind of. I feel like I want to be able to wrap this episode up with a little bit of the anime, and it's the fact that the Pokemon, some of the Pokemon don't say their own name, like Charizard. Really? It goes Rrr! And you have I don't know how many other Pokemon do, but there's a lot of Pokemon in the anime that they don't say their own names. Or in the new game, I think X and Y, and even Sun and Moon, Pikachu is the only Pokemon to say its name.
Well, that's because that's kind of his thing.
But why can't they do that with every Pokemon in the game? Why can't they make voice acting happen in the games? Wouldn't that be...
I don't know.
Wouldn't that make it funner?
Actually.
Wouldn't you agree that would make it a lot funner to have voice acting as part of the Pokemon's cry? Like every time you encounter a Pokemon, their cry is their voice in the anime, which was...
Oh, they did that in Yellow. In Pokemon Yellow, that was what they did with Pikachu, and only Pikachu.
Really? Because
I know a little digitized sample in, and that was what his cry was in Pokemon Yellow.
That's weird, because I know that they did the exact thing with X, Y, and Sun and Moon, where they imported the anime voice into the game, which I found was really cool. And they haven't done much besides that. And I think why can't they have the same voice actor or the same voices of the Pokemon in the games into the anime? Like, why can't they port the anime voices of the Pokemon over to the games?
I don't know why. Maybe they just haven't thought of it.
Yeah, I mean, Pikachu's example right there is it's the only Pokemon to have an actual voice instead of just like whatever it does. I don't know what it does, but I don't like the fact that Pokemon just have the cry of they're like a soundbite. Or the Pokemon in the anime like Charizard, it doesn't actually make it doesn't actually say its name. It just goes, you know, or Onyx goes roar. Like a lot of Pokemon, they just go roar, and that's their noise. Or Gyarados, roar. Like a lot of Pokemon in the anime, all their cry is just, you know. It's like, really? But I don't know.
I mean, there needs to be a Pokemon whose cry is just roar. It's just like a middle-aged Japanese.
I hate that move though. That move you're talking about, roar. I hate it.
It's like, roar.
Yeah.
Roar.
The move roar. I hate it. Don't you hate that move?
I never used defensive moves like ever. So I just smashed the A button until I win.
I hate the fact that they have roar there because roar makes the Pokemon go away. Like it makes the Pokemon flee from you. It's just stupid, and that's what I really did not like about the games.
I think that's like literally this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but Steven, do you think that for Generation 8, which is the next one they're coming out with, after the ones that are coming out now, but do you think in Generation 8 they should include actual anime-style Pokemon voices?
Oh yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, if the characters already look like the one from the original anime or whatever.
Why not just kill the
Well, that's the thing with the Origins anime.
Have the same style.
They did not look anything like the original anime characters. Like even Ash in the new anime looks completely different because they changed the art style. Although it does look like it could be a good anime now, it's the fact that he looks so cartoony and so, you know, Miyazaki now. He just looks so weird. That is the problem with the new anime.
They look basically the same.
No. They have completely changed the art style of the Pokemon anime, except the voice acting. The voice actor is the same, but they look it up. Look up Ash. I think X and Y, and then look up Ash Sun and Moon. He looks completely different. I mean, he has the same basically look, the black, the black spiky hair and the lightning bolts on his cheeks and the hat, but he looks completely different. His style is overly changed. It's just weird. Yeah, look up X Y Ash and then Sun and Moon Ash. He looks weird. I mean, I still will watch it when I get there, but I still don't like it. It just looks different. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to just force myself to watch it because it's Pokemon anime and it's supposed to be good. But I'm just gonna say I'm not a fan of the art style. I'm just not a fan of what they've done. And plus, not only that, but they've ported the anime now to Disney XD. Since when is Pokemon a Disney show?
Yeah, it does look really good.
I know, right? Like, since when has Pokemon been Disney? Like it was originally airing on WB Kids, and then it aired on Cartoon Network, and now it's airing on Disney XD? What? Why is the anime airing on a completely different network, like Disney? Nintendo...
It's fucking Disney now? What the hell?
Yeah, Disney XD is where it's airing right now. It's stupid.
Shit? That's not correct. No, stop.
I can understand Star Wars Rebels, a new Star Wars and cartoon being airing on that channel because Star Wars was going from Cartoon Network to Disney, but having a Pokemon anime, the new Pokemon anime airing on a completely different channel like Disney, what? It just doesn't make sense. And that's what I really didn't like about it. So that's all I can really say about the game. It looks really fun. It's coming out in a month and I think it's 3 days from now, a month, and it looks really fun. It's an alternate story, so it takes place in the same world, of course, but it's a different story. Lily is coming back. Lily is the girl that was in the first game that I loved a lot because she changed her hairstyle from a long hair and a hat to a ponytail, and she just looks so cute. And I want her to be my friend. I want her.
No crush.
I admit it. It's obviously it's the fact that Lily, she liked the player. You can tell the way the way she she talks to the player. It's obvious that she likes the player. Likes. It's weird. Yeah.
Likes.
Like if you play the game, you can get it on emulator if you want to. Play the game, and you'll notice how Lily talks to the player like he's like, "Oh, you saved my life. I'm so happy." That kind of thing. Like you can tell that she likes you, like in a romantic way. It's weird, but which is making me wonder if that's a new thing in the games is that a girl in the game is liking the player now. I don't know. It's weird, but that's all I can say about the game. It looks really fun. There's a lot of really cool features being added.
Or some shit.
Yeah, I would look into that and definitely play the game. It looks really fun. And also the fact that, also one more thing before I wrap this up. There was a really cool feature that they added into Sun and Moon where you could actually see what move was more effective. Like in the previous games, you have to like guess what move was effective, but now I think it's like you have to activate it somehow. But you can actually like when you get into a battle mode, eventually what will happen is your moves will show what's super effective. It'll say this move is super effective. This move is super effective. Oh, this move isn't very effective. This move doesn't do anything at all, which is really cool. So if you know what I'm talking about, basically in previous games they had it where you'd have to guess what Pokemon your Pokemon would do well against. Like if you have to guess if your Pokemon, let's say your Pokemon is Dark type, you have to figure out which what Pokemon you're countering if that Pokemon will to be good against it. But now with the new mechanic, they enable it so you don't have to even do that. You can actually just pick. It'll show you which move is more effective, which I think is really cool.
That kind of takes out the strategy though.
But no. There's more. There's more. The fact that you have to actually activate it, because there was a point where I played the game and I couldn't even find out, it wouldn't even show up. Like I think if there's a way you have to like activate it or something like that. I can't remember exactly what you have to do, but you have to activate it and it will actually not appear for the first time you play it. Like you have to make it work, and then it'll show you what moves are effective. But yeah, I guess it does kind of defeat the purpose of battling, but it's also for people who don't really know how to play Pokemon very well. It helps them. It helps them know what move is effective against what move or what type. I just feel like it's useful because otherwise, how besides the internet, how are you gonna know what moves are or what types of moves are effective against which types of other moves? It's just like
the internet. You don't need anything else.
Well, if you don't have the internet or whatever, then it's helpful to have that. But still, I did like that mechanic in it, and I'm very excited for the new games. It's gonna be really really cool. I'm very excited for it. There's a lot of really cool things happening with the Ultra Beast and everything, which is really really cool. And I think it's gonna be a better game than the previous games. Although I'm excited for it, but also I'm thinking it's gonna be way different and just weird. But that's just my opinion of the trailer. But still, I'm excited for it. So anyway, I think that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other anything else to talk about Pokemon related?
Not that I can think of.
Steven?
Yeah, I don't really.
Okay. All right, just checking. All right, I think that actually does it for this episode of the Madhouse. Thank you, all of you, for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. We really appreciate the support. Yeah. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to come us by for more episodes of the Madhouse. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Chakky and Steve Kovoc. The links will be in the description. Check them out. They don't post very often. In fact, Steve hasn't posted in about a year, but still check them out regardless.
I'm posting, alright.
Yeah, I'm more referring to Steven because he hasn't posted about a year, but that's his fault. But basically, yeah. Check them out, and yeah. So again, thank you for listening, and we'll be back next time for
We'll see you.
Another episode. All right. Bye bye.
Hasta la vista.
VII.